Antrim and Newtownabbey Borough Council recognise and appreciate that businesses are currently facing unprecedented challenges as a result of the significant economic impact that COVID-19 is having across businesses and homes throughout the borough and Northern Ireland. In order to support the local economy, the Council is continuing its business activities and engaging with key partners to explore how best to support local companies over the forthcoming period and are providing as much information as possible via the Council's website. As part of that support, they are providing a series of webinars to support local businesses through this crisis, and they also have one-to-one business mentoring support available. In this webinar, we're going to talk about online selling and promotion. We're going to talk about your online sales strategy, e-commerce, website payments, and different platforms. There's really only one question to ask here, and that is, do you currently have an audience? And what I mean by this is, do you have a location online where people already purchase from you? This could be from your Facebook page or from your website, for example. If so, then this is your starting point and immediate focus. You want to double down your efforts to grow your traffic to your shop and focus on increasing sales. But you also want to diversify your online business. You do not want to be just selling from one location. And as we know, the rules change on every platform and you have no control over them, unless it's your own website. So that is why your own website is the most important asset you will have. So if you have your own website, you can sell directly to customers from it and you set the rules. You can decide what products are listed, what's seen first, what payment systems used. Whereas if you're only selling through a platform such as Facebook or any of the other platforms that we're going to talk about, you have to abide by their rules and other people's products will be listed in front of yours. So in this video, we're going to talk about your own website. We're going to talk about Facebook pages, groups, and then look at a lot more options for selling a product or service online. So do you have little or no online sales today? If this is the case, then we need to follow a few steps to decide the best way to move forward and be positioned to get sales. The first thing we have to consider is, where are your customers? Do your customers live on Instagram, for example, or Facebook or LinkedIn? Again, depending on what type of person that you sell to. If it's a business to business, if you sell to business people, then, for example, most likely LinkedIn is going to be a great place for you to market your service. Even though they don't have a payment option on it, it's still going to be a great platform where you can sell your services. So depending on where your ideal customer spends most of their time, this is the place that you really want to be present and visible on. There's no point, again, being on, say, Pinterest as a social platform if your customers are not there and you're not likely to get sales from your activity. Secondly, I would recommend that you consider your own skills and resources. So what I mean by this is, have you got any in-house resources to help you with marketing? And what are your own skill sets? For example, can you write smart or witty social posts? Do you take good photos that you could share on social media? Or can you design a really nice graphic to post to social media using apps such as Canva? And that's C-A-N-V-A. And it's a free tool to help you design social media posts. So check it out if you haven't already. Going back to your skill set, have you got skills in any of these areas or somewhere else? Can you write blogs? Or do you talk better than you write? You should really consider the easiest way for you to communicate your story and then actually do this. If it's hard for you to do, if, for example, you decide that you want to be front and center on social media and it's something that you're really not comfortable in doing, then over time, the chances of you stopping this is going to be greatly increased. You really want to do something that you enjoy and excel at. So hence why I'm saying, if you're a writer, then write. If you're someone who's very good in video, then use video. If you're great at creating social media posts and engaging with people on social media, then focus on that. And basically double down on your own key strengths, because that makes the marketing easier. You really want to match your strategy to your own skills and then to focus on where your customers are. The third thing to consider is, do you have your own website? And this could be a Wix website, a free Google My Business website, or it could be a website that you have custom developed. Your own website is the most important thing you own, and it's the only place online that you really control 100%. Again, you decide the content goes on the homepage and every other page. And consider setting up a website if you don't have it already, and if you do, then great. Just remember that it is your most important asset, and any activity you do on any social network, you really want to drive people back to that. Next, I'm asking again, where are your customers or your potential customers? There are many incredible shopping platforms already in existence that have customers, and you just need to create an account and sell them. For example, Etsy. Etsy had 49 million active buyers towards the end of 2019, and they were being served by over 2.5 million sellers. Etsy has 60 million products listed across 83 different countries, and 34% of the sales on Etsy are from outside the USA. So it is very strong in America. So do you have a product that would sell well in the USA or any of the other 82 countries that it serves around the world? Some interesting points to note. Only 13% of the sellers on Etsy have been active for more than 4 years, and 95% of the sellers run their shops from their home. But in Q3 of 2019, it sold $1.2 billion worth of goods. And of course, we should talk about Amazon. So half of all web shoppers will go to Amazon in search of a product. So is your product on Amazon? And here is an article from The Guardian, and it says that almost 90% of UK shoppers use Amazon. And if I jump down here, 70% of the people that they questioned said it's the first online retailer that they go to. So these people will skip Google and type in amazon.co.uk. So if you're not there and your competition is, you're missing a lot of opportunities. Over 100 million people use Amazon Prime globally, and 40% of Amazon Prime users spend more than £800 per year on the site. In 2017, Amazon stated it had over 300 million users, so imagine how many it has today. In the UK, we know Amazon has annual sales of over 6 billion, and it operates international sites in 23 other countries. And we are going to talk about services, so in case you sell a service that might not be suitable to some of these platforms, we are going to look at platforms for that as well. And of course, throughout this webinar, we are going to talk about your own website, marketing options, and other things you can do. So there's definitely plenty in this webinar yourself, no matter what you sell, if it's a product or service. I would also like to highlight eBay with its 183 million active users at the end of 2019, which allows sellers in the UK to sell not only to local customers but also international customers without all the hassle and risk of dealing with cross-border selling. So high quality pictures, detailed product descriptions with loads of keywords and phrases, free postage, a clear returns policy, and competitive prices seem to work very well on this platform. There are many other platforms for products, such as Not on the High Street, Folksy, which is a UK version of Etsy. We have OnBuy, and again here we see these sites tend to have pages where everything's very clear on the costs and what you'll have to pay to sell on the platform. So again, really worth checking these out. If you offer services, there's websites such as People Per Hour and Upwork, and actually many more. And these allow anyone to create a profile and offer their skills and services on the platform that already has customers searching for the service you offer. If your profile is found and stands out, then maybe you're contacted for a quote for a job that someone has. But you can also bid for work in these platforms, and this is watching out for when people post their requirements and then you bid, you submit a price for that and your CV or your profile. So again, that's peopleperhour.com, and that's a UK-based website. And we have Upwork, which is more of a global marketplace for skills. These platforms would tend to have a lot of traditional freelance jobs on them, such as web development and design and content writing. But you will find, so again, you can see here, admin support, customer service, engineering and architecture, sales and marketing. So you can find a lot more skills on that. So for example, if we did go to People Per Hour, you will find people offering bookkeeping and accountancy services, for example. So again, you don't have to just sell your service in the local area. You can open that up to the entire UK. And thankfully, where we are, we might have a cheaper pricing point than maybe, say, someone in London. So again, really worth considering these if you offer a service as opposed to an actual hard product. So when considering where to focus your energy, you really need to consider a few different points. One is the cost versus the opportunity. So most platforms will charge a fee or commission on your sale, but the upside is that using them, you're going to have access to millions of potential customers that you just won't be able to reach without using their platform. So there is a pro and a con to using these platforms. If you're selling something unique, for example, something you've made or a service you provide, then these are a great platform to introduce your product or service to a new audience that you just wouldn't reach otherwise. So while there is a cost of business, of course, these platforms need to make their own money. Most of them are commission based, so based on the success of you selling. So some do have a monthly charge, and they have an option. You can decide if you want to pay that by going to a more advanced package or profile online. Most of them have a basic free get started model and just working on commission. So it's success. So again, they're not making money from you unless you're making money from their customers. So just want to have a quick look at some of the platforms again, and this one's probably one that you're very familiar with. Again, this is Facebook Marketplace. So really you can reach the Facebook Marketplace by jumping into Facebook and clicking on the Marketplace icon, or you can go to facebook.com/marketplace and you can click on sell something. And here it is here. It can be something, and you can see the categories here that you can already sell in. The thing with Facebook is that you can see buyer's profile, you can also see seller's profile, so people can check out your own profile to see if you're trustworthy. There's obviously seller ratings on the platforms, and they're getting more and more advanced as time goes on. One key thing with Facebook and Facebook Marketplace is that you can use adverts to boost your product, the visibility of what you're advertising. And Facebook doesn't take a fee for listing products and the sale of products, unlike nearly all the other platforms, but it tries to upsell you into the advertising that it offers. Most of the other platforms will have a payment option built in, which protects the buyer and the seller, so they will take the money and secure it. So there is if there's a problem down the line, there is a place or people that either party can reach out to have a mediation. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often, but again, that is an option. So Facebook Marketplace doesn't have that at the moment. So again, it does limit the scope and opportunity on this. Yet in saying that, in 2018 there was over 800 million people who browsed Facebook Marketplace as a platform. So it is a convenient place to list, and people do discover your products on that. As ever with all of these platforms, to increase your marketplace sales, you need to include keywords in the title and description of the offering. If you write a longer description with more details than you're offering, on what you're offering, then that is only a good thing, because it gives more opportunity for people to find your product. And of course, photos are critical. And Facebook is unique in the fact that it doesn't charge a commission for selling on the platform. And then we actually do want to look at the costs, the platform costs. So most of the platforms, as mentioned, will charge a flat commission, but it is important to watch out for hidden costs. For example, eBay charges between 7 and 11% commission, but there's an option then to have an eBay shop that starts at £19.99 per month, and you can list multiple products on that, and then it has its own unique advantages and disadvantages from that. You can also pay to promote your products on eBay as well, so you can actually allocate a percentage of the price towards promotion to have your product seen by more people. And you also then need to consider the payment fees from PayPal. So if you're using PayPal as the payment option, which most people will, then PayPal will also take a cut out of every sale, and that will depend on the value of the sale. You do need to consider this. You really need to sit down and be careful and work out what your costs are going to be for using any platform. So really do consider that. So you need to consider your listing fees, your sales fees, and payment fees if there is any. And that way you can make sure that you're not going to be caught out by surprise charges at the end when you sell your product. You make sure you're making a profit on that. So this allows you then to make sure that your price is right. And when you're building all of this data together, considering your own unique situation, you can decide then, is this platform right for you? So if we talk quickly about Amazon, so Amazon commission depends on what the product is. The rates will vary between 7% and 15%, and you can actually pay a monthly fee for certain features. Again, Folksy charges 6% commission plus a listing fee, and they have a subscription plan at £5 per month. OnBuy is 5 to 9% per month commission, and the monthly fee from £19. And then again, if you're selling services, so going back to the Upwork and the people per hour model. So Upwork charges 20% of the initial $599. So they price everything in dollars as an international currency, but they take 20% of that initial fee that's agreed between two parties, and then they take 10% of all billings after that up to $10,000, and then it drops to 5% for ongoing relationship work after that. So you are paying for small jobs, you are paying quite a high percentage, but again, the way to look at this is that you wouldn't have that job, you wouldn't have that money if you didn't sell to their customers. So again, you just need to build that into your pricing. People per hour, for example, again, UK based, charges on a similar scale. So they updated the price in 2019, and they charge 20% for the first £250, and then it goes to 7.5% for up to £5,000. So this is if you're selling services, and then it goes 3.5% after that. So anything that you deal with one individual person over £5,000, they'll take 3.5%. And again, for a long-term relationship and being introduced to a customer and maybe earning £5,000 or £10,000 a year from them, 3.5% is actually probably pretty fair, considering you wouldn't have had that client in the first place. So again, you just need to see what model and what platform is right for you. And if you're selling a product, there's loads of sites out there that have customers, and you can go onto their platform and sell your product. And there's loads of sites that actually sell services, and you can go onto their platform and sell your service as well. So if you have your own website and it's a WordPress website, you may have already heard of a plugin or a module called WooCommerce. So WooCommerce is a specialist e-commerce platform or plugin that you bolt on to your WordPress website, and it is the most popular e-commerce platform on the internet, and we find it to be one of the most versatile and easy to use, and it would have all the options that anyone could ever possibly require. We would recommend it for websites or businesses up to possibly 1,000 items. Once you start getting into the big numbers, then you possibly want to go for a custom build. So it is very powerful and can handle a large volume of items, and obviously a large volume of customers as well. So it's a very good platform. If you haven't already seen it or heard of it, then and you do have a WordPress site, then that is something you should or could consider. Then of course there's so many other options as well. We've listed some of them here. So there is Shopify, and we're going to have a deeper look at that in a few minutes, and that's a standalone platform. So you don't actually have to have your own website. You can sign up to a Shopify website. So e-commerce platform, create a shop online, and again, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. You pay your monthly fee to that platform. You have loads of options within that, so it's actually a very easy way to get online for anyone to build an e-commerce site. And definitely, again, we would recommend that. We would have see a lot of people who use that and have had great success with it. WooCommerce, as we talked about, BigCommerce, another competitor to Shopify. Magento is a higher end, more professional e-commerce site or platform that's very popular at the moment. Again, that would be definitely at the higher end. We would see a lot of larger stores using that at the moment. And of course, there's the likes of Wix and Squarespace, which again are standalone website builders that have an e-commerce module on it. Each platform has its own advantages and disadvantages. And what I would suggest is that you actually go to each web page and look at the features of that platform, look at the costs associated to it, and then make a judgment, is that the right one for you? Have a look at some of their sample sites. Again, just without knowing the exact details of your business, potentially if you don't have a website, then potentially a Shopify or a Wix or Squarespace is perfect just to get online, pay a monthly fee, and you can add on things as you want. That's the pros, very easy to start. You can do it yourself, loads of support online, and you could start in the next 2 or 3 days. Slight disadvantage is that because they're not bespoke systems, for example, going to a software house and getting something built bespoke, then you don't have all the features. You sometimes get things that you don't need, and the SEO and certain elements aren't as robust or as custom that you may need. But again, to be honest, if you're only starting out and you just need to get online selling, then I would definitely recommend the likes of Shopify or Wix or Squarespace as your first option, and you should use that until you actually start to develop a community online and generate sales, and then at some stage you can upgrade to a more custom website. I think it's wrong to go in and maybe necessarily start at a custom website initially, because obviously there's a cost involved in that. You may as well go for one of these other platforms and see what you like and don't like, see what features you use and don't use, and then what that means is when you do actually grow your business and are in a position to invest in a more customized solution, you actually know what you want and don't want. So really some great options out there, and as I say, they're really not expensive. So to quickly take you through, just again, so you can see some of the pricing models here. Shopify here starts at $29 per month, and you get your online store. So you can see that again, to get online, it's not that expensive. They do have fees, then you charge a little bit of a transaction fee for every time you sell something. Again, you want to build this into your costs if you're selling something that's high value versus something that's low value, but you're going to sell a lot of them. Obviously that's going to impact your strategy around that. So just to bear that into mind into your costings and into your strategy, because it may be ironically more cost effective to upgrade over time to a higher level monthly fee to reduce your transaction costs. So again, that's why it's important to work out your business model, look at what you're selling today or potentially selling today or tomorrow, and then you can scale up and scale down. And again, it's very easy to scale these platforms up and down. You don't have to go into an expensive one to start with. Start off at the bottom level and grow up, and don't necessarily go into something and you're not going to be using the features. At Shopify, Wix, again, they have different platforms, different pricing. So if you just went for a website, it's one thing, but we're talking about e-commerce today. So again, here we go into the pricing per month. One thing I would suggest on these is there is an option to add your own domain. I would strongly advise that you do that, and that's where you buy your own domain of a platform such as GoDaddy or Namecheap, roughly around £10 or £12 a year for your own domain if you don't have one, as opposed to having one that includes, for example, Wix. So maybe you have a website that has Wix in its name, it's a free domain, you don't have your own domain. I definitely make sure you have your own domain name if again you don't have a website already. And Squarespace, again, pricing, looking at this, you can see there's plenty of options here. I would always be looking at the lowest one to start with and see what your options are then if you need to upgrade or not. But generally the lower options are going to be fine as long as you can get your free domain, and the domains are transferable. So let's say you start with Squarespace and in 2 years you want to go to your own custom website, you can transfer that over, which is great. So there's no problem in that. So plenty of options there. It's just to see what you need and just to get started. When you have your store built, and again you may have your website and you're just adding a plugin to get selling online, or you're going to use some of these marketplaces already out there, you need to promote yourself. Of course, we can't expect the customers to come to us, and here's some ideas just to consider. Again, influencer marketing, still very good. We're finding a lot of success in micro influencers, so you don't need to go for a big account, but small influencers or micro influencers who have a smaller but passionate tribe, then that can be very good for promoting your product or service. Again, just think of who might be a good fit for you. So you need to spend time identifying them and then reaching out to them and doing a deal. Again, the good thing with micro influencers, they sometimes don't need paid. It might just be a contra deal where you can give them your product or service. So again, it's very cost effective, and that helps you get content generated there. So it's a good way to promote and get your product or service in front of other people. Email marketing, of course, is great when you have people signing up to your website or your platform and you're getting their email details, and again, more advanced features depending on what platform you go for. You can actually see if they've went to the purchase page and abandoned it, and I'm sure if you buy on Amazon you see this all the time, that you get or other e-commerce websites, especially the fashion ones, you've left something in the cart and you didn't finish your shopping, and they send you an email saying that you It's still available if you want to click through and purchase. So that's like a cart abandonment there. If you have made a purchase, sending a thank you email, again, it's a great way to remind the client or the purchaser that they've bought from you, gets another email into their inbox, and you might have an opportunity then to do an upsell. Is again, you normally in that email you'd remind them or highlight some other items that you have for sale that they might be interested in. And again, think of Amazon. If you've bought anything of Amazon, how they market, again, there's no harm in copying or taking elements of what they do and building that into your own process, because it works. Content marketing, of course, crafting stories around the content or the product or the service that you offer. So again, if you're writing a blog or sharing a video or a story online, it's a great way to build awareness of your product or service and what you're doing. And again, of course, putting that content onto your website so search engines such as Google can see that and hopefully over time send you traffic. Facebook adverts are still great, really, really, really good. And in Instagram adverts, you can set your persona, the ideal customer. You have to test them. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Ironically, there might not be a lot of people spending money at the moment on ads, so it could be a good time to test this. You want to be creative and use tools like canva.com to create nice social covers or social ads, and then think of remarketing. So again, there's a thing called Facebook Pixel, having that added to your site and just making sure that if you are sending traffic to your website from the likes of Facebook or any of these social networks, that you have a little bit of a code there that will target that person again, or highlight or catch that person's details, so you can advertise them again in the future, and you normally have a better conversion rate from that, and it can be cheaper as well. We've got Pinterest adverts, very interesting at the moment. They're very similar to Facebook ads, but we're finding them to be slightly cheaper if your target audience might be on the likes of Pinterest. It is majority female audience, and of course it's in certain niches. Households, travel was a very good one, education at the moment, but interesting and not as much competition. So again, if your product or service would fit that, do consider it and check it out. Google AdWords, of course, intent-based traffic, so people are typing into Google search looking for a solution, so it's really, really targeted. Excellent. LinkedIn, again, organic reach is still really good in LinkedIn if your product or service is targeted towards B2B. We're all still people buy. So should you be on LinkedIn marketing organic content, basically posting photos, videos and written content on LinkedIn is still very, very good and a great way to get traffic to your website. So do consider where is the best place for you to publish content. Of course, we can't be in all of these places. We don't have the budget nor time, so it is to be selective and build an audience there and send traffic back to your web platform where you're selling from, and that could be your marketplace profile, it could be on your website or in one of these other web options, e-commerce platforms that we're going to look at. So another thing, so it's important to be found no matter what platform you use. So on all of these examples that we've talked about, your website or these e-commerce platforms that we've looked at, and even using Facebook Marketplace, where it doesn't have a homepage, you want on the other ones to make sure you have a complete homepage, say what you do and the products you offer. Then your most important pages are your products and service pages. Make sure there's loads of detail there, really good photos. Your mobile phone can take really good photos. And again, if you have any reviews are incredibly important to your buyer profile. And in any marketplace platform, you think of Amazon, eBay, people per hour, every time someone does a job or buys something, they're invited to write a review. Reviews are something that I personally look for, and I'm sure you do as well. Do you actually buy something without looking at the reviews? And if you've seen something with no reviews, would you think, okay, I'm not going to buy it? There's a lot of psychology around this. So you want to see something's popular and you want to see loads of reviews. So definitely chase reviews. Do ask for people for reviews. Don't incentivize people for reviews, but just ask if they've had purchased your experience or product wouldn't mind leaving a review on the platform that they use. And there's loads of places to gather reviews from: Facebook, Google Maps, if you're a location, and any of those marketplace platforms, or even on your own website. Share your product or your service page on social media. So some people share their homepage to talk about the products and that. Don't forget to share the link to your products or services on your social media accounts as well, just to drive traffic to it. But for sure that will help your SEO as well, just to send people through and increase your time on site. So it's not all about social media. You need to get people to your website or to your marketplace profile as well. If you have a physical location, make sure you use Google Maps. Very, very important, and it does impact your ranking, but you do have to have a physical location for that. And again, select traffic marketplaces. So at the start of this, we talked about marketplaces for products and for services. Marketplaces like Amazon that already have millions of customers visiting it every month. And if I go to Amazon, I'm not going to Google. So if you're selling a product and it should be on Amazon, and it's not, then I am not going to see your product. You don't stand a chance of getting my custom because I'm on Amazon. I am not going to Google, and vice versa. So be very strategic in marketplaces. Again, we can't be in 6 marketplaces. It is better to pick 1 or 2 and just really double down on those and focus on those, and put all your energies into becoming very good at marketing those platforms. And the secret to it, as it is, and we've already said it, is a complete profile. When you're selling a product or service, really put in photos, keywords in the title, and really double down on the description. Make sure you fill that out. So very, very important. And there is loads of platforms out there that have millions of people visit them every month. So you can set up your own website, and I really would recommend that you do. But also, don't be waiting for people to come to you. Go and find them and look at the marketplaces too. So you've got multiple options there to generate revenue today. So we're going to look at Shopify as an example, and we're going to look at Wix and Squarespace as well, but double down on Shopify because that's a really popular one that we get a lot of questions on. And just to highlight as well, at the moment they have a promotion on, and they're actually extended their trial to 90 days free trial. So you can actually try this out, and you've got 3 months to test it to see if you're going to use it before you pay for it. So that's a really good offer. So as a platform, definitely something to consider. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to hand over to Stephen, who's one of our developers who specializes in e-commerce platforms and developing them out. We do a lot, obviously, in all of these platforms we've mentioned, and he's actually going to take you through a step-by-step guide on how easy it is to set these platforms up. So this will give you an idea that there's nothing to be afraid of. You can actually go and do this yourself. So I'm going to hand over to Stephen now, and then we'll wrap up straight after that.
There are now many options to set up an e-commerce store online with very quick templates and tutorials that gives you a head start against your competitors, but also an environment that you can set up not only in design, but then also manage your store ongoing for product inventory management, for stock suppliers, for quick changes on products, and then also online payments. What I'm going to do now is just show you some examples of e-commerce platforms that you can set up at home in no longer than a couple of hours and have a full functional website. So number 1 on the list is Shopify. So Shopify is currently the number 1 online largest e-commerce platform. So currently Shopify essentially is based on templates or themes. These themes are previously custom built, and they allow you to change and develop the design to match your business needs and your business branding. And so from Shopify, you can see the ability, even on their homepage here, that you can sell products everywhere and anywhere, from online desktop and laptop devices to mobile and tablet. And that also suits for social media platforms as well. So integrating between Amazon, Instagram and Facebook. And from there, you can tag products across Facebook Marketplace. You can pin products on Instagram, and you can sell on Google Search. So from that, if you're looking for a platform to not only manage your business, but then also display your advertising and your marketing strategies, then Shopify would be the answer for that. From that, not only in Shopify are you greeted with a clean and simple interface to manage and edit your products and your pages, but also the ability to manage your actual store, from the number of sales to orders and even your inventory, whether it's adding out of stock or in stock, or even referred for later. So from that, certainly check out Shopify and you can set up a free trial. So at the moment, we can set up a free trial to go through an account. From that free trial, then we can set up a very basic store and we can have a look at some of the themes that are available. So what we'll do now is very quickly set up a free trial, and from that we can just get into Shopify and see how it looks. So now that you've set up your Shopify store and you've went through the trial in terms of getting everything up and running, the first thing you're going to be asked then is a bit of a questionnaire. And this is just how Shopify fine-tune the experience for you. So they'll ask you things like, are you already selling products? And at this stage we can say, I'm just playing around, the current revenue. So you can see you're just getting started. Industry you're operating. So for this demo, we'll set up with clothing and fashion. And then you can set up as well if you're designing this or you're just playing around. So we'll hit next. And we'll go through this kind of step-by-step approach, set up the addresses, what we're doing with the website, and then of course continue on to the store itself. So the first thing you're going to see when you get into Shopify is the user experience or the menu, and that will be everything from the guidelines, which is the tutorial, the step-by-step approach telling you how to set up your store, to the menu on the left-hand side, to the plan and the trial that you're on at the moment. So the first thing we're going to do very quickly is follow along with this demo. So we can add a product from here. And the purpose of this, we're going to drag in some demo content. So you can see here the product layout, and already you can almost see without any experience in Shopify how clean the setup is. So adding a product, you add in the title. So we're going to call this light bulb t-shirt. Very creative. And of course we can add in a description for that. Well, let's add that in now. And we can of course add our image, so we can add our file from our computer. And we can add our image, we can just drag and drop that in, or we can upload from our library. We can add a price to that, to 25. We can add cost per item, so again that is just the cost to you as a business. Again, going back to what we mentioned before, so inventory management, we can add SKU codes, barcodes, and availability. Of course, it's a physical product, so we can add weight, and that weight then will then be used for shipping rates, and when we go to our checkout process. And of course, you have variations as well, and we can add different variations to size. So you can have small, medium, and large. We can have different prices set, so small can be 25, medium can be 32, and large can be 32. And again, we can set quantities for that. When we're happy with that, then we can of course set up our organization, our category types, our products, how things work. So tops. We can add the vendors, the supplier. Again, if you're drop shipping or if you're setting up a dedicated brand, you can set that in there. And we can also create categories as well, and collections. So let's leave that as it is, and we'll hit save. So now we've added our first product. So you can see within creating a trial, within 2 to 3 minutes, we now have our first product. So let's go back to home using the menu at the left hand side. So we've added our first product. Let's customize our theme and the website itself. And again, this goes back to what we've mentioned before with Shopify being a large collection of themes. So you can see here we have our debut theme, and we can customize. Of course, when we look at customize, we can start to see how the website looks. So this is the theme that comes with it. By this stage in the video, I haven't changed anything. This is just our default site. So you can see the grid layout. You can see how everything works on the website. So if I now click on this panel to the left, I can see our image. And if I want to add a new image in here, so let's see free images. I can go to men's fashion. I can choose an image from their archive. So let's see, select that, and you'll see how that image uploads. We can then go back to our text and we can change that to any text that we want to put in place here. And again, you'll see that'll update live on site. And then again, we can also change the subtext underneath. And we can even add things like a button as well. When we add that in link, it'll add a button to the site as well. And of course, we can create more interactive, more dynamic content as we go. And you can see now buy now, and that adds that button. We can link that button off. And the same is said as we go throughout the site. So as you can see, we can create a page in a matter of seconds, start to add our products in. We can add our t-shirt here. So let's see, let's upload our image from before. Again, we can change our heading here. So we can add in our content, and again, we can change our text, and once again, we can now add a button too. So very quickly, you can start to see how a website comes together. But going back to how the website looks though, how do we get this design, how do we change this, is based on themes. So if we now leave this store, and we'll leave without saving for now, and we go to our themes panel on the bottom left, and now we change to explore free themes. You'll also see that there's a wide range of free, but then also premium themes that we can add to Shopify. And these can be anything from these default themes right through to the store. And this is where Shopify will have more dynamic elements. You may find something that sits exactly what you wanted to do, whether it's very basic and very quick, or it's more advanced and has more dynamic features. So for this purpose, we'll stay with a free theme. We'll use something very brief. The debut theme actually is almost perfect, but again, you'll see there's others here as well. So for the purpose of this, we're actually going to stay with the debut theme. You'll see that there's two options here, so light and dark, and we can look at the demos there. We can see what features they have. So we'll go back to our store. We can see we still have customize. So if we go back to customize, and we can see our product line, we can see our product grid. If we added more products to the site itself, we would begin to see how they come to effect. So let's go back to our featured collection. So we can see here featured collection, we can see create a collection, so we can get our home page, we can select that, and now we have our product. Again, we didn't add inventory management, so you'll see it'll say sold out, and we can save that. We can change the number of products per row to 1. And we can even add out a new section as well. So add a new section. Collection, no product, featured product, so we can add that as a new section. We can select the product we want to add here, so of course our light bulb t-shirt. We can draw that up to the top, and we can see here we have our options for theme size, for size of product. So let's drag that up, let's move that to the top of the site. So you can see we'll have our intro section, we'll have our image with text, and then we'll have our product. And we can also of course delete sections as well if we don't need them. So if we want to click into this, we can hit remove section. Text columns, we can remove that. Collection, we can remove that. Testimonials is good, we'll keep that. And again, we can go back to styling this up however way we want. So you can see very quickly, we have our product, we have our options and sizing, we have our social media sharing options, and we have our editing of the site. So if we save that, we'll go back to our home page. And again, we can go back to our products. And from here, we can start to add and fine tune the site. We can see here there's 0 in stock. We can click into our product again. We can add stock to the site. So let's do that now. So 10, and we'll copy and paste that across. We can save that. And once we've added our products, we can check inventory. So you can micromanage and multi-manage here. So if you have hundreds of products, it's very easy to quickly add all of your stock to the site without having to go through each and every single product. Of course, you can also filter here by the category that the product's in. So it's very quickly to manage. Once, of course, you go into the site though and you start to navigate through in more details, we have a lot of stats as well. So we have customer entries here, so we can start to build up customer entries and almost have a funnel of customers going in. Of course, we have our analytics, so we can see our dashboard, we can see the total number of sales, number of users that are online, conversions, abandoned cart, so we can see how many people are actually adding products to their cart and then leaving. So as you can see, quite a variety of tools that we can use, not only in managing products and adding products to your website, but then also in the analytics and the marketing behind the website and how it works. And we can even go as far as setting up the website for Facebook, for social media, and you'll see here some apps that you can integrate with, videos and guides on how to use marketing, and even as far as automation and campaigns. So we can set up marketing outreach, text message alerts, email marketing, all through Shopify without having to go out and set up 4 or 5 different platforms. Of course, we have different features and plugins that we can add on top of this, and that will add in functionality for labeling, for Instagram feeds to bring Instagram into your website, and much more. So you can see in this very quick trial that we've been able to set up, add a product, customize our theme, and we can even go as far as adding our domain and putting a site live. So you'll see for the purpose of this, a very clean and simple setup that will allow you to micromanage your store for management orders, payment gateways, all through the one simple interface that you see on screen here. So Shopify would be our highly recommended option for someone who's really looking at getting online, getting a presence out there, but looking for a solution that is going to be very easy to manage in terms of adding new products and managing payments and orders going into the site. For someone then who's looking a bit more options in terms of building a website or building kind of the overall design and then having e-commerce on top of that, you may want to look at options such as Squarespace or Wix. Squarespace and Wix are for those who want to focus more around the build of the website. It's more of a drag and drop style experience. When you set up an account with Wix or Squarespace, you're really looking at more of the design, you're looking at the structure behind the website, then you can add on e-commerce into your platform. How this works is simply using a builder type tool. So Wix would be one of the most common examples here for builder websites. And the idea with Wix is that you can get started very quickly. You can choose a theme, or you can use their new custom API technology, which allows you to type in the style of site you want to do, and Wix will go and create that for you. So what we'll do now is very quickly set up a Wix account and show you the difference between Shopify versus Wix and how that may help or hinder your difference in the design or what you decide to do with your website. So likewise with Shopify, we can very quickly set up an account and go through the process to create a trial. So you'll see within Wix then we have the initial experience of setting up an account. So with Wix, you'll have the ability of what you actually want to do on your website. Very similar to Shopify, you're being asked very similar questions. What do you want the site for? Is it playing around? Are you creating a site for someone else? Or is it for your own business? So we'll say for myself, what should your business be? So again, it gives you some pre-filtered options in here. So again, we're looking for an online store. And again, we'll stay with the same style as Shopify. We will go for fashion. Never done this before, so again ask you your experience. So again, you'll have your two options. So for those who are looking, just they know what they want to do or they have something in their mind, you can start with a template, or we can use the artificial intelligence creator to try and do something for us. So again, this is for someone who's maybe just looking at focus more on their website but has nowhere to start. They have no idea what they want to do. So enter your business or website type. So again, it's going to be profile tree fashion. So let's see if there's anything there. So we can go fashion. So let's see if we have clothing shop, yeah. We can go with that. Online's men's clothing, and we can hit next. So you can see here then what type of things you need on your website. You'll see here it recommends that we have an Instagram feed, which is perfect, and a live chat to chat to our visitors, even better. And you'll see here some optional features we can add to the site. So a blog is something we really want to do. Bookings we don't really need. Video is okay. Let's add video, that'll be really nice. But we don't need to take orders or reservations or any events. So that looks great. So let's do that. So we hit next. After we've got our video, add the name of your online store. So again, for this purpose, we'll just call this profile tree demo. And we'll continue through. Do you want us to import any pages? So again, here we can use a business map or a business tool to actually take content and links from your old website. So amazing feature you can use there if you need to, but we're just going to skip that for now. So you'll see here, we can add our logo. So again, let's just go back and we'll use that image. Not so much of a logo, but that'll do. We can add in the address and we can add in phone number, contact details. So we can add in the address, we can add contact details and even your social media account. And we can continue. So you'll see here that we get an initial theme. And these aren't really much to go on if you ask me. So you're kind of looking at classic, midnight, Vogue, indie. So we're looking more of this indie style site, and we're looking at the kind of the font that's used here. We're looking at the colors that come up. So as I hover, what type of colors? And again, this is really just the initial default. You can change this at any time as you go through. So we'll create a palette, and again, it's going to take colors from that image. So again, if you upload your own logo and your logo has reds and blues, it's going to pull colors from your logo. So we're going to happy enough. We're going to use those colors, and again, of course, I can change those if I need to. And it's going to come up now with I start to build more of the design around the site. So you'll see here, there's 3 examples, and these are just using that artificial intelligence, what has it put together. So you can see here, we now get to choose what design we like. So again, we're looking for a very basic shop, so we're going to use this design. and it's going to start loading in those features. So similar to Shopify, we start with a pretty much like a questionnaire. We go through the site and then we start to add in our products. Now again, in reference to the differences between Wix and Squarespace versus Shopify, Shopify is primarily built on the basis of e-commerce. Its whole function, its whole background is that supporting e-commerce is where it's going to be number one priority. Wix and Squarespace are all about the user experience. They're all about the design and build of your site. So you'll see here the actual interface to add new sections, to move sections around, to drag and drop a section is much easier than Shopify. So you'll see there's a lot going on. So from here we can start to edit our site. We can add in new sections, similar before. We can change text. So we can change text. We can change the imagery here. So again, very quickly to edit and replace an image. We can even add a video. So if we replace that out, we can replace it with a video instead. So again, a lot of options. Similar to Shopify, we also have a library of tools that we can use, whether it's uploading images and media from your own computer or actually using online content. So you'll see here there's a video here, which is obviously a shop front window, which is perfect. You'll see our product ranges. So again, we can start to add and manage products. So at the moment, once again, we don't have a collection. So let's actually add a new feature. So add a new section, just hitting the plus button. We can see here some recommended sections, but we also have optional add-ons. So again, this is where we come back to what we were speaking about beforehand, much that more custom and bespoke user experience of being able to build and add new sections without changing themes over and over again. So for this, let's just simply go to featured product. Let's add our featured product grid. So there's some really nice add-ons here. So we drag and drop that in. And that'll give us a couple of seconds to add that. And we can see our products added. Now, of course, we haven't added our featured product yet, so we'll leave that there for now. We'll delete this section simply just by using the menu tool. We've got our Instagram feed, we have our video channel. So you can see, going back to the API, going back to that automated setup, it actually has it has added everything we've wanted, from the live chat to the blog to the video. It has done it all. So we're going to delete some of these. We don't need them for now on our homepage. We're actually going to publish. So when we publish, it's going to ask us to choose a domain that we've already purchased, or simply just use a free demo for now. So let's go with publish on our free demo and start to actually publish this site. So now you can see you actually have a demo site, and if you were to send someone to this page, they would be able to view your domain as well, and they can check out your website. So you'll see, going back, we have our website now, we have our home page, we have multiple other pages, we have a blog, our shop. We can start to look at how our products are laid out, and we can again spend more time changing that. But what if we want to actually add the products? How do we go back? How do we add new products to the site? So let's go back first of all to our home page. Let's go back to the site itself, where we can visit the dashboard. So when we get to the Wix dashboard, just as we mentioned before, similar to Shopify, you have your overall structure layout, you have your tutorial guide, of course you have sales and advertising, and you'll see a tutorial, again a bit more detail than Shopify. You can see there's a much bigger experience here than setting up just the store. But you can see similar, we can add a product. So let's add the product and we'll see what type of features we get. So you'll see there's some demo features here. So again, let's actually go back to products. We'll add a new product. It'll be a physical product. We can add the images. So again, similar to exactly what we've done, we can upload media from our computer. Oh, it's already here. Add that to the page. Product name. We can add a ribbon, so if it's on sale, if it's a new arrival, and that just puts it over the image sale. And again, we can actually put a sale sticker on, so we can put that down £12. Again, we can add a description, extra info, returns policy, cancellations, things like that. Custom text. Options, so again our variants, size, color, so we can leave that for now, and again track inventory management. From that we can do a very similar setup with Shopify. We can set up collections, so within our collections we can create our own setup and our own structure. So if we save that, again let's go back to our main menu. Now let's go back to our store page. So if we go to dashboard, back to site actions, and then view the live site, you can see our demo will display here. So of course we have our video, we haven't added our product, but you can see here our demo list. And you can see a very similar layout to Shopify. It's very clean, very quick, very simple. Going into Wix though more and seeing what actually is added, we can start to see we have our products, we have our orders, and similar to Shopify, we have our dashboard where we can start to see more about how our customers are using the site, such as abandoned carts, number of people that are using the site. We can go into customer management, or again, automations, so we can set up what we can do on the website, whether it's coupon codes, live chat through the website. Again, a range of features. Arguably on Wix, I would say there's a lot more features you can add to the site. And again, that's because you're going back to a platform that's not only e-commerce, but then also a blogging platform as well as a dynamic platform for bookings and events. So if you're looking for a tool that can do a lot of different features and cover a range of services, then Wix may be a better option for you because it does give you that ability to add e-commerce to an existing website. However, if you're looking for something that's so focused, very orientated around e-commerce and around online sales, Shopify may be a better solution for you because of its setup and its structure around the marketing aspect around e-commerce and getting you found in Google. Wix, of course, offers options for SEO through its products, through its library, so we can go right through to setting up and defining products around marketing tools. And again, you can see a range of SEO tools and getting found on search. But likewise, so does Shopify. Shopify have examples in marketing, from Google Sync to products, to Instagram tags, and then also to talking you through how to optimize your products for Google search. So you'll see at the bottom of Shopify, we have options for search engine listings. So we can edit our website SEO, we can change our title, we can change our descriptions, and even our links. And the same can be said in Wix for our products. So again, you will find an option that's right for yourself, whether it's customizing your store and building each page section by section, or it's finding a template that's been pre-built and essentially all you're doing is going in and changing text. There is certainly options for you. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch and we can help you more on developing your own e-commerce platform.
So just a quick recap of everything that we've covered today and some of the key points. So do consider the marketplaces that are out there. There are some marketplaces that have millions of customers already with their credit cards or debit cards on file for these platforms and have one-click buying. So again, think of the likes of eBay and Amazon and the rest. So really good way to get your product or service in front of new customers. Add an e-commerce plugin to your website or look at the e-commerce platforms like the ones we've already looked at. Again, consider them for getting your business online today and selling if you're not already doing that. Again, a great way to get set up at a very low cost. You don't have to wait for any development support. There's loads of videos on tutorials on websites on how to do this on YouTube and on each company's website. But actually, when you go through their setup process, it's very easy to follow. They have tooltips and they really walk you through the process. And again, they've got their own customer service team, so you can actually reach out to them and you'll find that you can reach them by phone, by email, or by live chat as well. So really good platforms and options today. No matter what you do or where you go and where you promote, the best thing you can do to advertise or be found is to complete your profile. So when a company gives you a page of her product to sell or to complete, so you can list your product, basically fill in every part of that page you can, because if you are missing out any element, if you're missing out filling in a description, if you have an option to add 10 photos and you only upload 3 photos, you're actually missing out compared to maybe your competition who have completed the profile. So that is one of the biggest things we see, the biggest opportunities we see, is that people do all the hard work, decide on the platform, get listed, but don't actually fully complete the profile. So people are searching using keywords. Think of how you search yourself. So again, have you got a really good description there? What sells? Images sell? Have you got reviews? Have you got a clear returns policy? And so on, so forth. So you really want to make sure that your profile is complete. Again, once you've got your profile complete, if it's on your own website or one of these other platforms we mentioned, share those links on social media, again, just to drive people to your profile and to highlight what services and products you are offering, just to remind people. But also that helps with the SEO, again, getting links to those pages. If you do have a budget, even a very small budget, do consider testing advertising and be sure to test it. And you have to think of your ideal customer, where they're going to be, and then what they're looking for. So it is a good way to grow. So some of the most important advice today is to make sure you follow Antrim and Newtownabbey Borough Council's social media and check out their website for the latest information and support during this period. It's been updated, the relevant pages are being updated there all the time, and there's some amazing information and resources there. Again, there is the page you need to check out. But if you go to the website itself, you'll find the page very easily, but there is the web page. And of course, if you need any further support, you can email the team directly. So again, loads of support on grants, rate reliefs, support for self-employed. And again, there's going to be a lot of tips and advice throughout the council website. So do keep in touch, follow what's happening, and make sure that you avail of all of the support that's available. Thank you for your time today, for watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful. If you do have any feedback, please do email the team on this email address. If you have any questions, comments, please do drop them an email. Again, if you did find this useful, why not bookmark the page, send it to your friends who are in the borough as well, who are also business owners that might find it useful. If you've got teams of staff who work in the business with you, maybe it might be useful for them to go through the video and take this as an opportunity to upskill themselves. And of course, it would be great if you could share these web pages and videos on social media. So again, it does reach and help as many people in the borough who are seeking help and advice and trying to sell their goods and products online. This is Kieran from profile3.com. Thank you again for your time.